Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here with another 8-4 Gatecrash draft. Okay, Blind Obedience. Cool rare, but there's better cards to be had in this pack, so let's examine them. Shanktail, very awesome Gruul card, also works in Boros. Guardian the Gateless, awesome in Boros, awesome in Ortsoff. Burning Tree Emissary, actually grown to like this card quite a bit, it's pretty damn good in Gruul. It looks like we're going to be passing both a Demir and an Ortsoff signal. Otherwise, I think Guardian of the Gateless is probably just the strongest card in the pack. I could pick Guardian and hope to go a little bit more, I don't know, Boros, I guess, but it's a tough pack all around. I'm pretty sure I don't want to pick white or black just because we're going to be passing a signal so badly with that. I think I'm actually going to go with the Shanktail, believe it or not. I'd rather be in Gruul, monocolor. Certainly not better than those white picks, but I don't wanna fight people for Ortsoff. There's just too many Ortsoff goodies in there. Alright. Here we get a pretty sweet pick, Pit Fight, which doesn't necessarily go that well with the Shanktail, but Pit Fight's just an amazing card, so I don't really care. Let's see. Snapjaw's in here. Possibly table that. I'd prefer to go Gruul over Boros, but we shall see. Simic Flux Mage, decent. Denrova Horror is a pretty good card. I mean, we're going to pick Pit Fight here. Pit Fight's insane, and it allows us to still play our first pick. I love Pit Fight. The card's so strong. All right. Options. We can do Ripscale Predator, which I like quite a bit. And that'll make these Verdant Havens a little more useful. It's also insane with Pit Fight. I actually like this card. I know it's a 6-drop, but it's a pretty powerful card. I've kind of gotten into more mid-rangey decks as I've played this format a little bit longer. If you can get enough resilience to get your 4 and 5, 6 drops online, your creatures, sometimes they can just take games over. If your opponent's like all in aggro or whatever. But yeah, I'm fine with Ripscale Predator. It's a pretty strong card. I'm going to take it over the Verdant Haven. Hope to see another one. All right. Here, we've got some options. Glaring Spotlight is a pretty awesome card. Kind of tempted to pick that because it's anti-removal, plus it eventually just makes it so your guys are unblockable. Plus it doesn't, it's not color specific. We're still like mono red, so we're hedging in between Boros and Gruul at the moment. I mean, more likely I'm going to be Gruul. We did pass a lot of white. Agoraphobia is still in here. Great card. Keyrune is good. Skullcrack's pretty turdy, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, let's just take the Spotlight. Let's make our guys unblockable. I'm cool with that. Alright, so options here. We can do the Prophetic Prism. Maybe we can end up a little more Gruul Simic. Hands of Binding, if I'm maybe wanting to go down that route. Massive Raid, still mono red. It's decent. It's removal. Bomber Core I don't really like all that much, although it is a 2-drop creature. Prism leaves me a little bit more open for weird coloring, which I may like. I guess Massive Raid is removal. Maybe I just want the Massive Raid. I mean, we're for sure red at this point. Let's see if we can end up a little more Gruul. Here we go. Alright, so we get a fairly late Croconura. I'm happy to take that. I'm going to take it over the Ruination Worm. I do think Ruination Worm and Ivy Lane Denizen are both, and even Madcap Skills. I mean, this pack just has phenomenal cards for us, but Croconura is just a staple if you're in green. It's such an important card for stopping that early aggro, and it really just does such a good job of just eating removal, when you really just want to draw some removal out of their hand. It blocks the world. Croconura is one of the most fantastic commons in the set, in my opinion. Alright, can take the Snapjaw here. I think I'm cool with that. It makes sense in my mind. It evolves. Okay, I think we just take another Massive Raid. We're only on pack 1. We still have plenty of time to pick up early creatures. If we do, these Massive Raids are going to be insane. So, let's do it. Certainly going to need some more creatures, but when we do, shall be good. Sweet. So we got a late Ivy Lane Denizen. Happy to pick that up. Really late Balustrade Spy, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my mind, but what do I know? Alright. Yeah, I like the power level of the cards we have so far. And we're in a color combination I'd like to be in. Here I'm going to take the Simic Flux Mage. We could end up 3-color. I like Rug a lot, by the way. I've yet to play this. I doubt I will anytime soon. Taking the Wildwood Rebirth here. We already have the Shanktail. It's pretty good with that. I guess we'll take a Skullcrack. Don't think we're playing it. Really? Second to last Ruination Worm? That does not make sense, but I like it. So now maybe we can go a little bit further into some Verdant Haven territory. Who knows? Who knows? All right. What do we got here? Well, I've got some good Simic cards. Elusive Crisis is a phenomenal card. And Shamble Shark is pretty good too. Maybe I just want the Crisis here. Could take another Predator. Not opposed to that, but we're kind of good on 6-drops already. Could value some fixing here. Maybe I just want the Crisis. I like it quite a bit. Guess we could use a 2-drop creature, but it's going to be tough to play these massive raids if I'm 3-color. Unfortunately, Scorchwalker's just not that great. I think I want the Elusive Crisis. I do like this card quite a bit. And perhaps we're just going Rogue. Going a little 3-color. No, I think I'm cool with that. Elusive Crisis is a phenomenal card. Alright, here we could take the Watcher. I think we're just taking the Crisis. This card's awesome. Could be a sign that Simic's open. Maybe table the Act. We'll see. Mystic Genesis is cool too. But Drakewing is just such a phenomenal card. Ooh, more good picks. So we can do Frilled Oculus, we can do Gruul Guildgate, Rust Scarab, Wasteland Viper. I like Rust Scarab a ton. I know it's a 5-drop, but just a phenomenal card. Wasteland Viper is also very good. He does not evolve our guys currently, though. It evolves this guy, I guess. Frilled Oculus is pretty sweet. Good with Pit Fight. It is a 2-drop. I think I want the Rust Scarab, though. Could also just get the fixing, but I think at this point I want this Rust Scarab. I love this card. Rust Scarab is a really, really strong card. All right, sweet. So Mugging is good, but I think we're just going to take the Verdant Haven here, get to our fatties a little bit better. I just really like Verdant Haven a lot. Mugging would be nice. Sage's Road Denizen would totally be good too, but let's get some mana fixing. All right, here I'm happy to take the Charger over the Ember Beast. It's more expensive, but it also is a combat trick and doesn't require me to have other creatures. It also evolves like everything. And Snapjaw is probably unnecessary. I'd rather just have the 4-drop. Ember Beast is pretty good, though. Especially with Pit Fight, but Charger's fine with Pit Fight, too, I guess. Alright, another Krakenura. Absolutely. Ooh, another Pit Fight, too. That's tough. I think we need the Krakenura, though. God, I love Pit Fight so much. Cannot stress that enough. I love me some Pit Fight, but gotta take the Krakenura. I think it's just a little bit too good. Too good to pass. Alright, choices. Second Verdant Haven, which I don't think I need, honestly. Although more fixing, the better. This doesn't strike me as a Madcap deck, so maybe the Ivy Lane is just... It's another 4-drop, I know, but it's so good in multiples. Shamble Shark's also really good. It's a 2-drop, which we're a little bit short on. I guess I could take the Shamble Shark. Just get a 2-drop over the 4-drop. It makes sense. I mean, kind of getting a little bit too deep into 3-color without enough fixing, but we still have another pack and a half to make that right. So we'll work on that. These packs dried up a little bit. That's alright. Alright, there we go. That's a good sign. Take this Frilled Oculus. Love that card. This looks like a pretty good opportunity to pick up a Rogue. It looks like red dried up this pack, which kind of sucks, but we might be able to just turn this into a Simic deck without too much problem. Let's see if we can make that happen. Yeah, Simic with Glaring Spotlight is phenomenal. I kind of gave this card a bad rep originally, but I think I've been blown out by this card so many times. I always forget, and then they do a combat trick that I'm not even thinking about, and it ends up screwing me. So we actually have quite a few red picks here. Could take the Urban Evolution. I think this is more likely to wheel. Could also take the Prophetic Prism. That might just make sense. Get some more fixing. I do like Rubble Belt Raiders a lot. It's a very strong 4-drop. But at the same time, I'm almost positive we're going to have to play this red. I guess this is the last pack, though. I guess we could just take the Raiders. I mean, I've taken games over with it before. It's pretty damn strong. So, okay. I mean, it evolves everything, too. It kind of makes sense. Alright, we can take the Disciple here. We can take the Emissary. Third Massive Raid, I do not think is happening. Sacred Foundry is pretty good, just for tickets. But I think we need some 2-drops here. So, if I'm going to take a 2-drop, it's either the Emissary or the Disciple. I don't get a ton of rewards from playing the Emissary in this deck. It's still just totally playable, but I think I'd rather have the Disciple. It's mono green. I guess this technically is too, but it's a little more color intensive. Let's just take the Disciple. I think the other card's better, but let's just keep our mana a little more simple. Alright, here I can take another Shamble Shark, which I'm happy to do. Alright, real choices here. We can do Madcap at this point. We could also just do the Denizen. Could do the Greenside Watcher, though we have no gates, so I don't know if that makes as much sense. Mugging is certainly removal, but trying to get a little bit away from red. We can also do Hands of Binding. Just keeps us more Simic. That might make sense. We don't have a ton of evasion, though, as the process. We got these 2 dudes. We have this guy. That might be enough. 3 is probably enough to maximize your value on Hands of Binding. It's a pretty strong card, I will admit. It's better when you have a lot of evasion, but since we already have 18 creatures, that's tough. I guess I'll take Hands. Alright. Second pit fight over the Viper for sure. Pit fight is absolutely insane. Alright. I think I'm going to take the Scarab over the Ruination Worm. Ruination Worm definitely stronger, but I think at this point we're probably just Simic. We may not even need to play red. Third pit fight, for real? Yeah. How much value can we get off a pit fight? I think enough. Oozeflux is awesome. I mean, you get infinite stuff with Evolve if you have the right Evolve creatures, but I can't pass a pit fight. It's just too sick. Third Croconura, yeah, definitely. I mean, I know they're not great in multiples, but when you have a million creatures, I think you can make it work. And at this point, we're not playing red. I'm 100% sure. We picked up more than enough creatures at the end here, where red does not even matter. I mean, this is still, I have to make cuts from this. Denizen for sure. Whatever. 3 pit fights, always insane. Second to last pick, Incursion Specialist. Just getting playable, second to last pick. You know the coolest part about Incursion Specialist? When you have triple pit fight. That's when it's really cool. Play 2 spells, your second one being pit fight. You have a little 3/3 fighter. I like it. Probably cutting the Totally Lost. Almost assuredly cutting the Clinging Anemones as well. Probably don't need Verdant Haven anymore. We're not 3-color. And then I just have to look around a little bit. But we could actually... I'm almost 100% sure we can get away with 16 lands, believe it or not. What, we have like this mana sink, kind of a mana sink, and then 3 5-drops. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're running 16 lands. Just playing a million strong cards. Let's see here. Triple Croconura is so dirty. When you have double Shamble Shark, Drakewing, and Krasis as well. Alright, so 25 cards. What are we cutting? 20 creatures? What are our weakest creatures? I guess this is just a bear, but it does evolve both of these. It evolves our Croconuras. Nah, we got a triple Croconura. We need some diversity in power and toughness. Because Incursion Specialist does not evolve the Croconuras, and since we have 3, we really need to make sure that we can evolve them when we need to. I mean, Simic, Flux Mage doesn't do it. Sage does. This does. This does. So, I mean, there's probably enough. Maybe we don't need the Hands of Binding in here. I only have to make 1 cut if I'm going to run 16 lands, which I think I am. Could cut the Snapjaw if I'm going to just cut a little bit of the in-game. Snapjaw's cool, though. He does evolve the world, but so do the Rust Scarabs. And they don't die. Alright, let's do that. I kind of like the Rogue still, only because we have the hands. It's a little bit cheaper. And you have... Actually, I like the Rogue because you can infinite bounce itself to, like, evolve stuff. Which may not seem very good, but it can be good. Guess it can be crappy, too, but whatever. Maybe the Incursion Specialist is a little less necessary. This doesn't look like the greatest deck for it. It's fine with Pit Fight, but only if that's the second spell. I think I'm cool with running it like this. 19 creatures. 16 land, Glaring Spotlight to finish off. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Let's see here. Green, blue. Pretty even mix. Probably need more green for the Rubble Belt Raiders. Alright, let's see what they say. Don't need that. 8 and 8. Maybe we want 9, 7. Guess we do need a lot of blue as well on turn 2. We probably just do an even split. I guess Rubble Belt Raiders is going to be a little bit more difficult to play, but let's do an even split. And I think I still stand by this being a 16 land deck, I think. Like I said, very few mana sinks. What, just this guy, which only requires 1. The Oculus is a mana sink. This guy's kind of a mana sink too, I guess. But they're all like light mana sinks. They're not like mandatory ones. Alright, so I'm gonna run it like this. I'll see you round 1.